Are you an author or coach and you're looking to create your own digital product or your own course? Are you curious about how to create information products? In this video, we're going to give you the steps you need to create incredible information products. Stay tuned. We will start by first uncovering the very first thing you need to do when you go into the process of creating info products. Then I'll tell you the 2 things you need to be giving your people when you're creating these kinds of products. And finally, I'll give you the 3 most important steps to creating information products. So if you're ready for the 1, 2, 3, stay tuned. The first thing you need to think about when you're creating information products is your audience, not necessarily the information you're going to tell them. That will come soon. But we first need to understand who are your people. What are their pain points? What are they struggling with? And what are their problems? From there, you understand where they're starting. The next thing you need to do is understand where they need to get to. What is that result they want? The easiest way to think of this is as if you're going on a mountain climbing adventure. You're going on a hike. You're all going to start at base camp. You're all going to start at kilometer 0, as we say in the hiking world. And you're going to head all the way through this mountain to the very top. That is the goal. So how do we actually get there? We can't determine how we get there until we know first where we're starting, second where we're going, and third who's coming with us. When we understand the unique position that our customers are starting at, we're able to then create the right pathway and create the right resources and create the right frameworks that are going to help our customers get to what that tangible result is, get to that ultimate goal. I'm curious, in your programs, in your world, in your movement, what is that tangible result for your people? What do you help your people achieve? Let me know in the comments because I want to know what you guys are building so that I can help you build it bigger and stronger. All right, so we've talked about our people. We have to understand who our people are, what their pain points are, etc. We also need to understand that tangible result. Where are we taking our people? And the deeper layer for that is understanding why that's important. This is tying back to understanding who our people are, because if we don't start with that foundation, we aren't going to be building products that people are actually going to be buying. So we understand who our customer is, where they're starting, what their pain points are. We know where we want to take them, and we understand why that's important. This informs what kinds of steps we take in the middle of building that information product. It determines how we deliver that content as well. A person whose ultimate goal is reasoned because they are a busy mom, right? They want more freedom in their time. Let's say that's their tangible result. But they want that freedom of time because they are very, very busy. They're trying to balance their family. Maybe they're also balancing a career. They're balancing the relationship they have with their significant other as well. There's a lot going on. So when it comes to delivery method, we're clearly not going to overwhelm this person with way too much video, way too much things to read, etc., etc. When we are instead going to be very concise in the way that we are delivering this content so that we're not adding ourselves and our program as yet another burden on the shoulders of that participant. On the other hand, you might have the tangible result of achieving a university degree, for example. That is a course of study that will require much more in-depth learning. Or say you're training someone to pass a standard exam. In those cases, you will need to add in a significant amount of extra resources. So having those extra lessons, those extra readings, those bonus video trainings, all of those will actually be of benefit to that customer as opposed to being a burden like we talked about with our busy mom. So understanding who our people are, what they want to get, why that's important, and what amounts of work we can give to our people. How can we best deliver that content and that information so that our people can achieve those results better than anyone else and better than any other form that they could gain that information from as well. If you're interested in following me along for this journey, I definitely recommend you hit that subscribe button. Join me. We're going to be releasing new videos every single week about building your authority, your influence, and ultimately your income online. So definitely hit that subscribe button. I'd love to see you along for the journey. All right, we've talked about our people. We've talked about the results they want. We've talked about how we can kind of deliver that information. So now it's time to tell you the 3 most important things you need to think about when you're building out your course. Once you've built that foundation, you know who you're delivering it to. You gotta think about a couple of things. First thing you have to think about is your timeline. We briefly touched on this previously when we're talking about how we deliver that information to our people. So are we building out a 6-month coaching program where we're going to walk them through the steps every single week to make sure that they stay accountable? Or are we delivering this as an audiobook? That's an information product. Are we delivering this as a do-it-yourself, self-timed course where everything is evergreen, it just sits in a membership area and your clients are able to go through that information on their own time? What is the timeline of delivery? Some people really enjoy these short form courses where what I would say is each unit becomes its own course. Or are you creating a longer masterclass? So think about the timeline, and again, make sure you're referencing it back to who your people are and what that tangible result is and what kind of roadblocks are in their way. The second thing you need to think about are resources. What additional resources can you provide that are going to help get better results for your people? I run a course that is all about creating really cool live video content. And some of the resources we've added recently include templates to create cool graphics. We've added scripts to help people get over that initial hump of, what do I say in my intro? We have all of those kinds of additional resources. They're not absolutely essential. You can still have success in the program. It just might take you a little bit longer. So what kinds of extra resources do you have available that you and your team have created? And also, what resources are there, what tools are there out there in the world that other people and other teams have created that will benefit your students as well? Definitely add those into your program in a way that is easy for your students to access and easy for them to understand how those tools will benefit them in the long run of their program. Remember, we're thinking about this like we're going on a hike up a mountain. So when you get to certain points, in a hike, for example, you're hiking on the flat for a little bit and it's relatively easy. You're getting in the groove, you're feeling confident. And then the terrain will change and you're going to start needing to use more maybe ropes and anchors and other pieces of equipment. So making sure that we're teaching our people how to use these pieces of equipment, how to utilize them in their path and in their plan will give them you're pretty much setting them up for success when you do that. And the final thing that I think is one of the most important things you have to think about when you're creating your movement and creating your info products is the identity that your people are taking on. At the very beginning, I told you to think about who your avatar is, who your customer is, who your audience is, who your student is. So understanding who they are at the very beginning and who they will become when they reach that result at the end. Understanding that identity and leaning into that identity change as they go through the process is really important. When we're learning, we're not just learning how to use a new tool, we're also learning how to design our own lives. We're using our sense of authenticity, our sense of autonomy to really direct where we're going. So if you want your people to continuously show up for your programs, if you want your people to have 100% success rate, then you really need to be leaning into who they are as identity markers. Who are they becoming and how can you help them become that? And how can you celebrate it once they've become that? How can you really make them realize that they have become something different on the other end of your program? There's lots to think about there, my friends. But definitely, if you want to join us for absolutely free trainings, I've thrown together a bunch of my favorite trainings on the fundamentals of visibility hacking into a really cool vault just for you guys, absolutely free. The link's down in the description box. Definitely check it out. It's called the Visibility Hacking Secrets Training, and it's full of stuff that I think you guys will definitely enjoy. Thank you guys for joining me for this one. I'll see you soon. Until then, remember I love you. Be excellent to each other.